Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time here. This is the second time that I've tried to film this video because I tried last week, but my dumb self decided to not check the camera every once in a while. So I recorded 40 minutes of video, but actually only got 10 on camera. So this is take two, and hopefully I can actually check the camera and make sure everything that I do is on camera for you guys. But yeah, so today's video is going to be a brush 101 / my favorite brushes. You guys have been asking like what brushes I use, what I use for what, how to do it, so that's kind of going to be today. It's not going to be a full-on tutorial, but I will explain why I use the brushes, what the brushes are meant for, and what you can use them for. Because brushes, I don't think is a one-purpose pony. I think you can use brushes for a lot of different things. So that is what I am going to do today for you guys. Before we get into the makeup look, I want to give a special shout out to Nikki Lex 04. I believe that's her username on TikTok. She has been such a great supporter of mine for the past 3 months now. She comes on my live, she engages with my audience. She's so much fun to talk to. She's such a sweet girl, and I absolutely love her. And today's video is sponsored by her. So today she sent me this Beauty Glazed Color Boy palette. This was on my Amazon wish list, and this palette is beautiful. So you like open it up, and then it has not one, not two, not three, no, sorry, 4 palettes. I don't know how to count. So this palette has 4 palettes. I believe it's 60 colors. And honestly, the pigment on these shadows are crazy. Absolutely beautiful. They blend like butter. The glitters are great. The shimmers are great. So that is what I'm going to use for the eyes today. I'm going to do like a purple cut crease look. Kind of my go-to smoky eye look, you guys have seen me do it many times, but today we're gonna do it in purple. She also sent, I'm going to be using this today, the e.l.f. Putty primer. So this is basically an exact dupe for the Touch Silk Canvas primer. So she also sent me this on my Amazon wish list, so thank you, Nikki. So if you guys want to see how I use my brushes and what brushes are my favorite, keep watching. Okay, first up, you guys know I started with my brows. So today I am going to go in with the Morphe M158 brush. So this brush has a nice thin tip brow applicator, and it also has a spoolie so you can do double the effort. Again, you guys have seen me do my brows on camera, so I'm just gonna go off camera and finish my brows. And we are back with the brows done and the eyes already primed. I just did that off camera to save some time. Next up, we are going to go into the eyes. And for this look, I am going to be using 2 brushes plus my fingers. That's all. So the first brush that I'm going into is the Morphe M456. This brush is honestly a blending dream and a detailed blending dream. It's super thin, but it also has a nice tip to it to get that nice soft blend up in that eyeshadow, but it also has a nice flat back. So this one allows for you to actually pick up the product on the belly of the brush and deposit it really nicely. Second brush I'm going to go into is the Morphe 452. This is just a really fluffy blending brush, synthetic material, so you can use it with powders or creams. So I'm going to hold this right up to the camera so you guys can see. So this one is really great to get that final detail blending, which is what I'm going to use today. And I actually lied. There are going to be 3 brushes plus my fingers. The third brush is going to be the Morphe M335. So this is the chubby buffer brush. You guys have seen me use this time and again. This one I'm going to just stamp out the crease portion of this eye. and then I will use my fingers to apply the shimmers. Okay, first up, we are gonna go into the Color Board palette and pick up both of the dark purples in this palette. There's a little bit of kickback on this, but honestly, for quality, I can deal with kickback. So I'm going to take that on the belly of the brush and just apply on the outer corner of my eye, just as a base. And you guys can just see how much pigment that palette already has from one dunk in each of those shades. So just like that, full pigment right off the bat. Okay, now that the product is deposited, we are gonna go in with the same brush with no product, so make sure nothing is on that. Sorry if that was really loud on the camera. So we're gonna take the tip of it and just hold the end of the brush just to feather stroke it out, and then we will apply our next shade after that. And just like that, very softly blend it out. Again, it's not going to be perfect right now because we are going to go in with more shades. Okay, next up, we are going to take the two light purple shades and just tap off the excess. And we're going to go in very, very lightly handed and do little scrambled egg motions just on the outer corner and just smoke it up a little bit more. Now that we lost a little bit of that dark purple pigment, we're just going to go back in with that first brush and just reapply very slightly just to increase the depth to the eye. Now just like that, both eyes are back in the depth, and now we're going to go in with our Chubby Buffer brush and a little bit of eyelid primer just to stamp out the crease. Just like that, you have the stamped out cut crease, and now we're going to apply some shimmers. First up, we're going to just take our ring finger and go in with that deep purple, just a little bit. It's almost like a glitter shimmer, so you have to be very careful, and we're just going to stamp right on that edge just to get the blending starting already. And the reason that I don't do my base first, you guys, is you can see the little bit of glitter that I got on my bottom. That way I can wipe it off before I do my base. Next up, I'm going to take that light pink shade at the bottom of the palette just to go on my whole lid and just up on my finger. And just like that, eyes are complete. Very, very easy. If I wasn't doing this on camera and I was just doing this by myself, I could maybe get this eye done in 5 minutes. And again, thank you so much to Nikki for sponsoring the palette for this video. All of her description will be, or all of her info will be in the description box below. If you guys could show her some love, I would really support that. I would really love that. I would really support it. Makes sense. But yeah, let's move on to face. And we are back with the face. You guys know not to prime is a crime, and yes, Nikki Choyle says that, so don't sue me, Nikki. Even know that there's probably a 99.99999% chance that you will not see this, but I also have to take that into consideration. You might see it. You might see it one day. But anyways, I go in with a beauty priming oil just because my face is very dry. So if I don't put an oil on it, most foundations don't sit on my skin, which absolutely sucks. So we are going to go in with the Morphe M436. It's a very dual fiber brush, so it's great for stippling in oils or a very light coverage foundation. I do have a bigger version for the foundation right here. Again, same softness, same double fiber ended, which is beautiful for liquid foundations. Now that I'm primed and ready to go, there are 3 different foundation brushes that I use on a daily basis. So first one, again, I already mentioned, is the Morphe 462, it's just the big version of the stippling brush, so it's great for lightweight foundations. It's just going to give a sheer coverage. This is the brush that I use in my kit all the time for weddings, photo shoots, stuff like that. Second up is going to be the foundation brush from Jemini Collective. This is in her 10-piece brush set. Super cute packaging. It's a nice, dense, but still soft foundation brush. It's not as big, so it does take a little bit longer to work out your foundation, but again, I don't really care. I would much rather have quality over quantity, or speed, if that makes sense. So that's one other brush, and then my main go-to brush is going to be the Jeffree Star Morphe X foundation brush. You might not be able to... Really? Oh, motorbikes, you're so disrespectful. You might not be able to get this one in store, but it still might be online. But this foundation brush is just my holy grail. This is the JS1 brush. So I'm going to do my foundation off camera and I'll be right back. Just like that, foundation is applied and laid and looking fierce. Next up, we are going to go in with concealer. And if you guys guessed it, my concealer brush is also my chubby buffer brush. This is just a perfect concealer brush to get right underneath the eyes. It's super dense, so it's going to put in the concealer rather than take it away. Again, I normally do use a beauty blender every now and then, but for today's video and purposes, we are just doing brushes. Now that concealer is on and laid, we're going to go in with cream contour. Again, because I have really dry skin, I try and go with as few powders on my face as possible. So most of it is all cream, but I will do a little bit of powdered bronzer and contour, a little bit of powdered blush, and obviously highlight. And I will set my under eyes, but everything else I leave put. Okay, and for cream contour, I'm going to go in with the Morphe X Jaclyn Hill JH08 brush. This is the Anything Creamy brush. It's very similar to the Chubby Buffer brush, but this one actually has a flat top base to it. I don't know if you guys can see how flat it is, but this one's super, super well for anything creamy like the brush does. So I'm just going to go do that and I'll be right back. And all the cream products are laid on and looking snatched. I'm just gonna go set my under eyes and I'll be right back. Stupid boyfriend. Okay, now that the under eyes are all set with a setting powder, we are gonna go in with the Morphe Y5 brush. I'm not sure if you can honestly get this brush, so I'm sorry for mentioning it, but it's just like my holy grail. So I'm just gonna pick up, obviously, my 8M palette, you guys know that. And I'm just going to stamp in a little powdered bronzer / contour just to make it look like I haven't ate 2 cheesecakes in the last 3 weeks. Next up is blush, and for blush I'm using the Morphe E34 brush. This is a very dense blush brush, but I love it because I love a lot of blush. So I use this to press it in and then I blend it out afterwards. So that's what I'm going to do and I'll be right back. And last up is highlighting. And for anyone to say to me, why don't you use a fan brush to highlight? I say, turn away, walk away, don't come near me. Fan brushes for me, I get they were like all the rage back like 15 years ago, but it's 2020 now. And fan brushes, I feel that just get all over the skin. You really can't precise or put it precisely where you want it. So that's why I don't use a fan brush. I use the Morphe M451 brush. This is a beautiful highlighting brush. It has a tapered tip so you can get it just on that apples of the cheek, or you can really go in and blend it out. And obviously you guys know I love a blinding highlight, so I'm gonna do that and I'll be right back. And highlight is on and looking blinding like always. I'm gonna go and put a little bit of shadow on my under eye, put a lash on, and I will be right back to get my recap. And we are back with the full face completed. I just threw a gloss on from Fenty Beauty, some lashes from Gemini Collective in Jemini. And yeah, that is today's video, you guys. So I showed you some of the main brushes that I use. I will just recap everything. So for start off, we had brows, which was the Morphe M158 brush. It has a spoolie and a brow end, so it's really nice. For eyeshadow, my main brush that I use for all of my looks, any color, I have probably at least 10 of these brushes, is the Morphe M456. This is the one that James Charles created. Then for the blending, we went in with the Morphe 452 brush. And then to pat out everything, we went in with the Chubby Buffer brush. This was not only used for the eyes, also as concealer. And I also use this to blend out my eyebrow concealer too. And then we have foundation, or primer I should say. And primer, I go in with this little dual fiber brush, the Morphe M436 brush. Love this brush for anything liquids. For foundations, we can either use the Gemini Collective foundation, the Jeffree Star foundation brush, or a bigger dual fiber brush. For blush, we went in with the Morphe E34 brush. Very dense, beautiful packing motions. For contour and bronzer, we went in with the Morphe Y5 brush. For highlight, we went in with the Morphe 451 brush. This beautiful, don't go to fan brushes, please. For creamy bronzer, we went in with the Jaclyn Hill JH08 brush, anything creamy brush. And I think that is it. I think that's all of my favorite brushes for you guys. Again, thank you so much to Nikki for the eye look, for the palette. Thank you for being such a great supporter. I absolutely love you. Thank you so much. And if you guys aren't already subscribed to this channel, go and subscribe. I think the bell, I think it's down here, the bell icon. You guys can get notified when I post. I will be posting every Friday at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, unless if anything changes with me personally, or just my life is too crazy that I can't post. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!